going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about linebacker Jamie Collins. Now, if you haven't heard the news, linebacker Jamie Collins is on the trade block for the Detroit Lions. The reason why I didn't really do this video yesterday was because I just wanted to get some reactions. I wanted to get some social media reactions. I wanted to get some coaches' reactions, especially Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn. I wanted to get some fan reactions, just experts on the subject through social media and through just all like Twitter and Facebook, all that. Just get everybody's kind of feel for what's going to happen with this possible trade scenario. Now, that's the former second round pick. Appears to be on the move. 9-year vet. 686 tackles, 61 tackles for loss, 51 quarterback hits, 36 pass deflections, 19 forced fumbles, 8 fumble recoveries, 1 touchdown, 25 and a half sacks in his career, and 11 interceptions. 31 years old, going to be 32 coming up real soon. He had his best years as a New England Patriot, most notably in 2015. He went to 1 Pro Bowl. Then a really solid 2016, and then was traded to the Cleveland Browns in that same year. Played for the Browns for 2.5 years. Had a really good 2018 with the Browns, over 100 plus tackles. Back to New England in 2019, and then to Detroit in 2020. A Matt Patricia guy, he brought him over here. He's had him in New England, and Collins had over 100 tackles, 100 plus tackles his first year in Detroit. He had only done that 3 times prior in his career, so he did have an okay year last year, even though it was one of the worst defenses on planet Earth. So now he's on the move, okay? And now we're going to get some quotes from Dan Campbell. I got Aaron Glenn talking right here too. So this is what Dan Campbell had to say, and I think this one was prior to him being traded. I don't know if he was even being talked about being traded yet, but this is after the Green Bay game. This is Dan Campbell. Jamie had some mistakes. It wasn't certainly his best performance, and yeah, I think Barnes deserves a shot. A little bit of shade from the head coach here. The guy, like I said, is as transparent as it comes. He's very, very transparent. He tells the truth. He doesn't do a lot of coach speak. Just, this is what he is. And then here's another one. Look, Jamie is a big linebacker. He's a very athletic linebacker. The way he moves is a little bit different. Now, does he move with the same effort as Alex, meaning Alex Anzalone? No, I don't think so. I think Alex just plays at a high level all the time. That's him. That's how it goes. Jamie, there are things that Jamie does well that we still have to continue to use. He's still a mismatch on third down, particularly on the rush game, and we'll see where this goes. Again, it's a little bit more shade, and he's as transparent as it comes. And I don't have an issue with Dan Campbell being transparent, because it's great for a fan. It's great for a fan perspective, and it's great for the media. The media loves this kind of stuff. The only problem with being that transparent is that goes now into the locker room. That goes into the locker room, and now he's throwing shade. He's throwing shade at Jamie Collins, and Jamie Collins is a 9-year vet. That's got a lot of things going on in the NFL. Been there, done that. Super Bowl champion. And now you got other players that hear that stuff. Now, in the same breath, Jamie Collins is what he is. He's known to be a lazy football player with a load of talent, but sometimes he just coasts. He goes through the motions. Now, I think Jamie Collins is one of the most talented linebackers. It's probably the most talented linebacker on this roster. We don't have a great linebacker room, but Jamie Collins is one of the most talented linebackers on this roster, if not the most talented linebacker. Just that he's a coaster. He goes through the motions, and his boys know it. He knows it. His coaches know it. This is just what he is. It's not that I'm throwing shade at him right now as well. That's just what he is. He just kind of goes through the motions. He coasts. That's what he does. But when your coach comes out and says that, I'm not saying this is going to cause a ruckus. I don't think it will. But that's extremely transparent. Sometimes that's a little bit too much. But this is the way he is. This is an ex-football player. This is not a guy that's been through classes on how to be a coach speak. This is a guy that's just going to tell it like it is. I just hope stuff like that doesn't bite him in the butt. I don't think it's going to be, but it raises a little bit of concern for me, just a tad. Just a tad. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't want to be too honest, because that's really honest, man. That's really honest. It's just pretty much telling us that Jamie Collins is great in spots, but he doesn't have high effort. That's what he is, and Alex Anzalone just plays out a better high effort than him, and that's what this regime wants, though. They want guys that are high effort. This is a big reason why Collins, I think, is getting shown the door. Not that he's a bad football player, it's just that this is not what this organization wants. They want guys that are all in 24/7. And then sometimes you can't get rid of a guy right away. Like people will say, well, why didn't this guy go now? Well, like I said earlier, he is probably the best linebacker on this team. He really is, from a talent perspective and a numbers perspective. But he's older. He's not going to be part of this build. He really showed almost like his true colors in week 2 against Green Bay. He looked like he was 2 steps slow, 3 steps behind. It just didn't look good. And they're doing this guy a solid to get him out of here, because that shows a big sign of respect as well. It's only week 2. Get him out of here before it becomes week 6, week 7, and even longer, and you can't get rid of him. This is what you have to do. Now, he's going to another team. Collins isn't at practice. He was told not to come into the building during the trade process while they try to trade him. There's teams out there that want his services. Apparently, according to Dan Campbell, he came out and said that there's teams interested. We'll see. Now, we'll go see what Aaron Glenn says, and we'll talk a little bit more as we go. Now, this is what Aaron Glenn says, the DC, our defensive coordinator, and this is what he says. It's time for us to start to look at our young guys and allow them a chance to go out there and play. You'll get a chance to see Derek Barnes play. I know you guys have all been looking forward to seeing him play, and I think it's time for him to get out and play. And also Jalen Reeves-Maybin. No real mention of Anthony Pittman, but Jalen Reeves-Maybin is probably going to get more playing time as well. Now, this is what happens if they trade Jamie Collins, and we'll talk more in a bit. But if they trade him right now, it's a $3.5 million dead cap hit in 2021, and then a $6.6 million plus dead cap hit in 2022, totaling $10.2 million for the 2 years together. We also will save like $3.8 million in 2021. Now, if they release them, and this is not what they want to do, but I can't see him ever being back in the building. This is a business, though. If they can't do some kind of trade, I don't see them just outright releasing him, because I think it'd be worse. Releasing will be a dead cap hit of $7.3 million in 2021 plus, and another dead cap hit of $6.6 million plus in 2022. That's totaling $14 million. I'm guessing that isn't happening. I'm guessing if they can't get a trade suitor, that he's just going to continue to be on this team. But right now, he's out of the building. Nowhere near the facilities. It is what it is. I think they're just trying to maybe make him go home, clear his head, digest what's going on. I don't think it's a shot. Apparently, Jamie Collins has been nothing but great about it. They talked to him. They sat him down. They said, "Listen, this is what we want to do. This is the avenue we want to take. This is just what it is. This is a business." So he's home, waiting for a trade. I think a trade's already done, to tell you the truth, because they went and picked up another linebacker from the Chicago Bears practice squad, Joshua Woods or something like that his name is. They picked him up as former DB that played at Maryland, put some weight on, put about 15, 20, put about 30 pounds of muscle on. Now he's a linebacker, one of those speedy linebackers. So, and he's on the practice squad. I think they put him on the practice squad right away. He's never even started a game, but he's been in the league for a couple of years. He's young, another young, cheap option. So, and then a team trading for Collins right now, they would only owe him $3.378 million. So that's not that bad. If they get him for 15 games at that price, it's okay. And then if Detroit, this is coming from Fields Yates, fantasy football guy, ESPN, you guys know who he is. I saw this on Twitter. He was the first guy that I saw who wrote this. If Detroit pays Collins a signing bonus, that in turn could drop his base salary. So if they give Collins a big chunk of change in a signing bonus, it'll take down his base salary. Now, it makes Collins more desirable, and the Lions could even possibly get a better draft pick. So that's a good way of doing business. That's a good way of doing business. Take his base salary down, give him some extra money, and a bonus. Doesn't affect the cap or anything like that. So he did already restructure this year, though. I'm pretty sure. So that scenario might be tossed right out the window, because I don't think you can restructure twice in a year. I think you have to wait a full calendar year to do it again in the NFL. That's not a guarantee. I'm not a 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So I don't really know. Maybe they can give it to him at a bonus. I don't really know how it works, but I think it's a possibility that they can give him some bonus money and then take down his salary. And then it just works out like that. And then it makes him a little bit more desirable for teams, and you could possibly get a better draft pick. Now let's talk about what we could possibly get for him. He's 31 years old. He's turning 32 in October. At this point in Jamie Collins' career, I really don't think he's a 3-down linebacker anymore. We kind of seen that in the last 2 games. He's not got good in coverage anymore. You know, what a couple years does to you. It just, once you hit 30 plus, man, I'm telling you, it starts to go downhill. And he is playing a game where he's hitting almost every other play. So, and he's a linebacker, so he's always in contact, usually with somebody. Not like a D lineman or an O lineman, but he is in contact with a lot of guys. And he's in his 30s, 30, 31, turning 32 in a month. So he's not a 3-down linebacker anymore. Not just saying he's strictly a 2-down thumper, but he's still got some giddy up to the quarterback. He can get to the quarterback. He still can play a little bit of pass coverage. It's not completely out of reality that he can't do it anymore. He's basically a 2-down linebacker. I still say that can get to the quarterback and play the run. That's what I really think he is. Not calling him a thumper, just saying that pass coverage ability that he used to really have, that was really one of his strengths, is not anymore. It's not. Teams know this. They all know it. So if anybody's thinking that we're going to get like a 3rd or a 4th round pick, I don't think it's going to go that high. I would be shocked if we got a 6th round pick. I'd be shocked. I'd be happy with a 6th at this point. If you could somehow finagle a team into getting a 5th, giving up a 5th, I think that's a steal. But this guy's gone. This guy is gone. And this is not a I'm bashing Jamie Collins video, because it's not. I really like Jamie Collins. I think he's a good football player. And like I said like a few minutes ago, people are like, well, why didn't they do this at the beginning? Because like I said, he is the most talented linebacker on his team in a room where the linebackers are not that good. They're really not. They're either not that good or they're extremely inexperienced. You got even Jalen Reeves-Maybin has not been on the field much. He's a special teams ace, don't get me wrong. But him playing during the regular season, very little reps out there. Anthony Pittman, practice squad guy. Derek Barnes, brand new, rookie, underdeveloped a little bit at Purdue. Comes over, he's a 4th round pick. They kind of put the kid gloves on that guy right away. I was on and I'll admit, I was on the fence with that Derek Barnes pick at first when it first came out. I was like, oh man, good player, very underdeveloped at Purdue. Played on the D-line a lot. Wasn't really a tweener, but he played D-line a ton, probably more than linebacker, I'm assuming. And then he played some linebacker. And he was good at both spots, but he was very underdeveloped as an NFL linebacker. People have to realize that. But after like game 1 and game 2, I was ready to call it quits on Anzalone or Collins. Not like get rid of him, just I wanted to see more of Barnes. At first I was like, let's put the kid gloves on him. You know what I mean? Let's not get too crazy with them. But after watching those two guys play, I was like, it's time to play Barnes. It's just time. This team is super young. This Lions team is so young. They're trying to develop players. This is how you develop players. Like, and I even got into a war on Twitter about a guy telling me that Derek Barnes isn't ready. Okay, I get it, man. He's not ready. That's fine. I kind of understand all that. But he's no worse than Alex Anzalone or even Jamie Collins now. Alex Anzalone, I was ready to just put on the sidelines. I never thought this would happen right now. I had a feeling that this would happen maybe a little bit down the road, that they would be getting rid of guys like Jamie Collins, possibly Trey Flowers. You might see more players getting traded. Brad Holmes is trying to get draft capital. That's how he's trying to build this team. And there's guys on this team that are not going to be part of the build. There's Jamie Collins is one of them, especially at his age and how he produces now. Trey Flowers, I think, is next. I don't want to say, there's a few other guys that I kind of want to hold off on. I don't want to say it just yet because it'll probably cause a ruckus. But there's a few other players that they could possibly get rid of. And don't worry, it's not the Mike Valente, let's get rid of TJ Hawkinson and Frank Ragnow. That's completely moronic. And I'll probably make a video on that one. It's not that. But there's guys on this team that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are looking to get rid of to get draft capital that are not part of the build. And there's a few guys on this team like that. This is only the beginning, folks. This is only the beginning. Now, is it a guarantee Collins is gone? I don't think it's a guarantee. I'm going to say 99% that he's gone. So it's almost a guarantee. He's not coming back to the building during this. I'd be shocked. I'd be really, really shocked if they don't unload him for something. It's almost sounds like they're going to unload him. I'm not saying they're just going to take a bag of balls for him, but if they're telling this guy not to come around the facility and not practice, he's got to be gone. He has to be gone. And Dan Campbell said today that there was no rush in getting this done. That's one thing I don't believe. I think he's thrown a little bit of BS against the wall on that one. There is a rush. You have to get rid of this guy right away. You can't let him be lingering around. Chance for him to get hurt. Chance for him and then he starts playing good. Say he starts playing good, all of a sudden nobody wants him gone. But if he plays good, I guess there's a chance that you can get him for more draft capital. But this is what Jamie Collins is. He has regressed as a linebacker. So don't expect a lot for Jamie Collins. I'd be shocked if we got a 6th-round pick. Really. A 5th-round pick would be, I think, an absolute steal at this point in his career. He did have over 100 tackles last year, though. So if there's teams like Denver, Indy, maybe Miami's got some ties there with Flores, back to New England with Patricia. Did I say Denver? Denver, they've had some injuries with their linebackers a little bit the past couple weeks. There's teams. Dallas is a possible destination. I read as well with all their injuries happening. So there's teams out there that apparently teams have reached out. Now that could be Dan Campbell doing coach speak, because I don't know how many teams want a 31 going on 32-year-old linebacker that has kind of slowed down his production the past couple of years. But he did have over 100 tackles last year, so I can't really say that. But he's getting up there in age. That's an old player in the NFL, especially at that position. And don't give me the Tom Brady does it. I know at his age, it's a whole different thing. Tom Brady takes care of himself like no other human being on earth. I don't think that man's human. But that's a whole other story. But that's it, guys. Jamie Collins on the move. Is he gone 100%? Not yet, but it's in talks, and I think it's going to happen really, really soon. I have a feeling it's going to happen before this week is done. I have a feeling it's going to happen before Sunday. So don't expect Jamie Collins to play this Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. So that's it, guys. Thanks for listening in on the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, get all my videos. Don't forget to like and comment. Let's talk about this. Go Lions. Some more videos coming up. Boom.